Yo, family, what is good? And welcome back once more to another daily live stream. And the situation that we had been fearing has panned out. As I mentioned over the past week or so, the moment that Bitcoin lost 98k, I would personally start de-risking because I had anticipated that 98k was quite a crucial level of support, and thus we probably would see quite a significant pullback and mass liquidation should we lose that zone. Bitcoin is now down to $94,200, down 5.37% on the daily time frame. Bitcoin it's not crashing. I have to just reiterate, the terminology crash actually means 10% or more in one day. But either way, Bitcoin is significantly pulling back right now. Kaspa equally is down 6.4%. Ethereum is down 3.2%. XRP 2.8%. Ondo 5.3%. Octa 7.6%. Weirdly enough, Naka is up 45%. I don't really know what Naka's doing right now, but that seems to be shooting up right now. But the markets across the board are capitulating, to say the least. So this stream is going to be kind of covering the current market dynamic, what's happening, what's next, alongside Kaspa and Zebec recent updates. For example, we've heard some updates from Johnny regarding stablecoins, namely USDC, hopefully coming to Kaspa not too long in the future. We'll get to all of that and much more in this stream, family. As always, if you enjoy the daily content, leave a like, share with your friends, subscribe for more. Turn on that post notification bell so you don't miss out when I do end up going live. And are we in a confirmed bear cycle yet? Well, let's address this first and foremost. Long and short of it, altcoins have been obliterated for the past year. So altcoins are terrible. That much we can see is very apparent. If you look at pretty much any altcoin, Kaspa's been going through a 1.5 year correction, if you will, from 20.7 cents back in August 1st, 2024. Kaspa been on a very, very long pullback and is down roughly 77% or so, 78% from its all-time highs over the past 18 months. But in saying that, I, of course, looking at other projects, can identify that many of the other projects have made as big a pullback, if not even more so, from their more recent local highs in a shorter time frame. The whole reason why I'm just analysing that and highlighting that is because while capital price is terrible, and of course there will be those who are throwing FUD about, it's not a case of any individual project right now doing poorly. It's just Bitcoin who leads the markets, dominating the markets, which that is performing poorly, and of course everything else follows in suit. We can look right now, Bitcoin dominance is still in the near 60% range, which is not surprising, 59.38. While Bitcoin dominance remains very high, the market as a whole is going to react very, very similarly to Bitcoin. And seems we're looking some very, very huge outflows from US spot Bitcoin ETFs right now. Yesterday, Thursday, we saw $866 million in net outflows, marking the second worst day on record for Bitcoin ETFs, which is only behind February 25th, 1.14 billion. 98% of ETF buyers are sitting on a loss. Their Bitcoin experiment is going wrong right now, and we're seeing consecutive outflows just days after the funding bill was signed by Trump and also ending this government shutdown. We don't know exactly where we are heading from here, and that's the big uncertainty, and we're going to get into a bit of clarity as to why, or more so where we could be going from here. Now, the one big question I'm sure many people are asking, are we in a bear cycle now? Is the bull run over? In my personal, humble opinion, not financial advice, the confirmation is not there yet. I'm not saying we're not in one. Right now, it's really, really tough to determine. But as I mentioned in my last stream, if you go through every historical correction with Bitcoin, and of course history is not 100%, but it's still quite a good indicator or quite a good mechanism you could use to kind of analyze what's going to happen going into the future. If you look through history from Bitcoin, January 1st or January 21st this year, down to Trump's inauguration day back in April, you saw a 30% pullback. Should go a little bit further back in 2024, we had that 6-month kind of stagflation period or stagnant consolidation period where similarly Bitcoin came down 31% in that time frame. Let's move on a little bit further, shall we? We can go back to another time. We'll go back to this particular correction here. This is the last bull run, 2021. We saw that initial run up. We saw this peak January 10th, January 9th of 41,000. Another 30% pullback before we saw that first top happening in April. And you can go pretty much back throughout all of history, and you can even go a lot closer. You can see that multiple times Bitcoin has seen a 30% pullback in value before making that massive reversal and pump straight back upwards. Now, that does not mean we are in the exact same scenario this time round, but the reason why I say the cycle is not over just yet is because despite the struggle of crypto and Bitcoin right now, from its all-time high, its local all-time high of 126,000, Bitcoin is down 25%. It's not reached 30 yet. So we haven't reached that typical historical pullback before we see that reversal and that massive push upwards. And typically it's a very, very big push upwards afterwards. So with that being known, there are, of course, many levels of support on the way back down. One is in and around this zone of 94k, another one's at 92k, so there will probably be another barrier. Just doing a quick brief analysis right now, it's probably another barrier in and around here where we are at for Bitcoin. You can also probably find another one in and around here at the 88k, 87k, 88k zone, which this would end up making it a 30% pullback. So right now, I mean, there will be smaller support zones in between, but right now, these are the next two zones that I'm looking out for. We could see Bitcoin find support here and go back up, or we could see Bitcoin continue going back down, which is entirely possible right now. And hopefully, and maybe it will find support at 88k. If it goes down further, we have another conversation about it. For me, even though last cycle we saw a 55% correction before that major run up, I mean, that was an anomaly. Effectively, no one could have predicted that pretty much. And I don't want to rely on that being another reoccurring theme. So based on historical data and me as an investor, I'm looking, I think worst case would be in and around the 88 to 83k zone. Probably in and around here. This is the zone that I am looking out for, which is when I'll be like, okay, if we lose that, then I'll probably de-risk a little bit more and then look to DCA. For me, again, it's not, I don't think that would be confirmation of a bear cycle, but it would be like right now, if I'm going to give percentages, I would say I'm probably 65%, 35% bullish over bearish. Despite the market correction right now, I'm still a little bit more leaning that we're going to see some more momentum coming through. Of course, that will change based on macro reports that will finally start coming out, the Fed sentiment and whatnot, and institutional adoption. If we go down a lot further and we lose critical zones like 88k, like 83k, then that will probably start going more towards 50-50. If not, then maybe 60-40 in fair of bears. I'm not ultimately fussed or even worried about the stance of crypto, and I'll showcase why in a moment. But I'm just, again, keeping my options open. One of the alpha premium documentations I showed to my VIPs, it talks about how the strategy now as an investor, like what institutions and banks need to do and what we need to do therefore as well, is do what we're best at as humans. Be adaptable. You don't just follow one set strategy and you just live and die by it. You've got to know how to adjust to market dynamics. And right now the market dynamics are terrible, so we've got to adjust in accordance to what is currently going on. And we have got some very, very, very massive catalysts coming through in the coming days and weeks, to be honest. So I'm going to get into the pleasantries and welcoming everyone back to the stream in just a short moment. Before I do, though, let me go into a little bit of the structure of the stream right now. So as I made a post earlier, and we can see it on on CoinMarketCap right now as well, the total crypto market cap is now officially lower, actually. It's lower than it was back at the beginning of this year. Beginning of this year puts us around here. We are actually now officially lower than in January 1st by about $400 million. No, $400 billion even. So we have now come down lower, which is not something you want to see right now. And of course, we're in extreme fear right now. People are, with Bitcoin's leading the market, everyone's very, very worried right now. And again, we're seeing huge institutional outflows, which is also playing a critical role in this investor sentiment. In the words of the KYC letter here, which does coincide a little bit into what I'm going to be talking about, ignore the noise. Price and political developments, those are surface distractions in what is becoming the foundational layer of financial infrastructure, which is blockchain technology. Another one of my premium insights there. Kobe here highlights, ignore the noise. We are back to the point where the top is in has become consensus. Everybody right now is screaming the top is in. We haven't had an altcoin cycle yet, and maybe we won't. I still think we will. But we're seeing the top is in, being screamed about left, right, and center. Extreme fear has taken over. That sentiment has become a daily occurrence now. But in saying that, just want to bring your attention to the stock market, which is still nearing all-time highs and it is kind of volatile today, in all things considered, but it's still nearing all-time highs. So the larger financial markets, they're still holding strong. It's just crypto that's being squeezed. Why is that? Why is it being squeezed? Well, we have got some huge developments coming through next week if the timeline stays true. ISO 20022, the messaging standard, where we're going to be seeing SWIFT and 91% of all 11,000 financial institutions worldwide, so that means SWIFT and another 10,000 banks all across the globe, will be migrating to this new messaging standard. And that is, again, if the timeline and the deadline is stuck true, which according to this little interview here from Standard Chartered, a podcast from them, they're confirming that the November 2025 ISO 20022 deadline, that is going to be, I believe, sometime next week, that is going to be final. So listen very closely here to this podcast.
Learnings from that harmonization, but I think there's definitely some learnings from that time. One, originally around, I guess, the deadline moved, and with that, it was very difficult working with clients to get them to move to the new standard. As soon as a deadline moves once, people think it's going to move again. And I know we've heard that also on CBPR Plus. No, the deadline in November is not moving. It is a hard fixed date. Unless somebody knows something I don't know. But
now they go on a little bit more there. This information has already been linked in my Discord community, but I'll repost it there for those who want to listen for themselves. But the deadline that is quickly approaching is a hard set date. So this is a bit speculative, but knowing that, tens of thousands of institutions and banks and the entire financial system as we know it is going to be migrating to this new messaging standard, ISO 20022, in the next week, maybe two. I need to find the exact deadline. I think it's in and around the 22nd. So that is a little bit, I think that's next Saturday, therefore. If every single financial institution is migrating to this new standard, then you're looking at the stock market holding relatively strong, but you're seeing crypto getting liquidated. Speculative speaking, what if once more it is a ploy by smart money by design to crash the markets in preparation to scoop those dips up, because everything right now is about to start running off blockchain. I have showcased countless documents, and I'm going to showcase another one here, one of my premium insights, which this one actually is also maybe speculative, but I think this one has even more credibility behind it. This is a premium insight I showed to my VIPs from State Street. As you think about State Street, one of the biggest Wall Street firms, to relate that to Kaspa, I guess, Marathon Digital Holdings, their three biggest shareholders is Vanguard, BlackRock, and State Street. So there's a connection if you want one there. But State Street here, on the 9th of October, that date should be very important to all of us, considering the day afterwards we saw the biggest liquidation in history. One day before that, State Street issued the 2025 Digital Asset Outlook. Institutions are doubling down on tokenization. The information, the link to this whole document is available in my VIP community. But just to showcase one part from that, State Street state that our research shows that the industry is already embracing digital assets in all their crypto, cash, and tokenized mainstream asset class incarnations. Furthermore, they see these assets as a growing part of their portfolios. So State Street, one of the leading Wall Street institutions, have basically just confirmed that crypto is growing as a niche, is going to continue getting more and more popular at this moment in time. And they published this research document, this deep dive, if you will, one day before the largest crypto liquidation event in history, October 10th. Again, could be a coincidence, but there's sometimes where I think coincidences are just, they're not, right? It's too reoccurring where you're seeing these significant big catalysts. And that doesn't mean price catalysts, but it means foundations shifting, institutions getting involved into blockchain, these big catalysts happening in and around the time you start seeing massive pullbacks in the market. But we know crypto is going to be something that's going to be taking over the financial landscape. So why are we seeing this? Why is it still very volatile? For me, I think there's something going on. That's just food for thought. I'm not trying to sow seeds of doubt, just food for thought. Again, the benefit of having information and knowledge is being able to kind of draw up these sort of thesis and kind of potential outcomes, right? And this is something, again, that I show to my VIPs, this sort of documentation. This is also one of them in them as well, regarding the ISO 20022 deadline coming through very soon, how significant it's going to be, who's going to be jumping on board, this State Street document, and much more. If you want to find access to the documents and everything else, and check out the VIP, links are down below in the description. We've got a 7-day free trial there as well, so you can get access to all of that. And equally, trade alerts as well. We're making gains through these trades right now. Even despite the market crashing, we're still our traders are putting out as much as they can do to provide more opportunities to our community. Now, we've got more to cover, so I'm going to quickly just go through these parts here, ignore the noise. The large cap technology stocks are down 10-20% after running up 100%. There's also something very important. Bitcoin is down 5% right now, but it has got a massive run up. If you think about the cycle so far, technically the cycle started in 2024 when BlackRock launched the ETF, you could argue. So you're looking at around here, 30-40k Bitcoin. We're currently up, 3x from then. We were up to a total of 4x from that bottom or so. So we've had a very significant run already. And we're by no means out just yet, in my belief. We still have probably more time. These are all hallmark signs of a technical correction in a broader uptrend. Zoom out and capitalize on periods of emotional weakness in price. The fundamentals remain strong for asset owners, and that, I think, is still very much prevalent right now. Again, I mentioned at the very beginning of this stream, Bitcoin is seeing a lot of weakness right now, but typically speaking, Bitcoin goes through a 30% correction before seeing that reversal. We're at 25 right now, so we technically still have room to come back down. Will we or not? Again, time will tell. I did mention that below 98k, I would start de-risking holding stablecoins, and I have done so. Kind of. I did actually buy a bit more Kaspa earlier, I can't lie. I put another, I think 50, 60 quid or something in just a very small bag, because I am myself quite uncertain. I'm getting a bit more uncertain, at least, in regards to how long this downtrend is going to be. I didn't want to ape my whole bag in. But I'm holding more stables now as my strategy for this current moment in time. But if I'm going to start DCing into anything at this period, for me, it is going to be Kaspa, because Kaspa's had the longest pullback period of any crypto, which means that when the market reverses, I don't see why Kaspa won't follow in suit. It's had the longest pullback. When it does come back, it will be coming back as strong, if not stronger than everything else, due to what's being built on there and the developments that are starting to come in as we speak right now. White House apparently has also, White House has stated that Trump is signing an executive order to reduce tariffs. That should also alleviate some stress from the market going forward as well. But of course, time will tell. Now, before we get into these big Kaspa developments that I think could trigger some potential volatility in the market and maybe some appreciation, not God candles, but some good pumps at the very least, let me get into some of the questions, because I haven't answered any of this stream. So welcome back, everybody, once more to the stream. Hopefully having a good day so far, or as good a day as you can do. Wing Hong, we have you back once more. We moon yet? Far from it. Welcome back, Greg. Happy Friday, brother. Hope you're doing very well. Even into you too, Brett. Good to have you back, my man. I ain't selling. Good to hear indeed. I can't do risk and sell. I don't want to get taxed. It's fair enough. It's very fair enough. Just don't really have much to sell on that front, brother. Jesus, guys. Yeah, markets are terrible right now. It is it's not good to see. Welcome back, crypto only bro, you're doing very, very well. Zcash is looking like the promised one. Yeah, I have actually been hearing about that. Despite this corrective period, Zcash is still going absolutely crazy. It's up 13%. Like, don't know what Zcash is doing right now, but it's still doing very, very well. Now, does that mean that Zcash is going to continue rallying from here? Who knows? Frankly speaking, I mean, getting into Zcash right now for me would be risky. I'm not saying you do the same thing, but for me, I think it'd be risky because, well, ideally you want to get into Zcash down here. You don't want to follow and chase a candle. Right now, Zcash is already up over 10x from this bottom here, over 11x, over 12x from here. Getting in right now, who knows who the top's going to be for Zcash? And right now, the market dynamic is so volatile and so uncertain that it could just be a very, very big risk. Welcome back, Falco, bro. You're doing very, very well, brother. At this rate, I will be a virgin for life. Time, Wing Hong, just be patient, brother. I'm here for a long time, not a good time. Honestly, fair. I at this point, I agree. It's not been fun for ages, has it? No, it has not. It has not. We are all expecting a lot of euphoria and, the biggest bull run ever. And with respect, it has been the biggest bull run ever, but also have had zero love right now. It's been purely Bitcoin, a little bit of Ethereum, but even XRP a little, because XRP had that big rally and runoff off the back of the lawsuit coming to a conclusion, where XRP rallied like 7x in price or whatever. But other than that, apart from your speculative, here and there regarding Zcash having that big pump, Hyperliquid having that big pump, occasionally, like pretty much everything had been terrible besides the top three, mainly the top two, mainly just Bitcoin actually. Everything's been terrible. So it's not been a fun year. Kaspa's been a year and 6 months. Everything else has been a year because they started falling back from January 2025. So it's been tough. I don't think we're completely confirmed bear cycle. Not yet. Again, I've already highlighted my zones and what I'm looking out for. But the warning bells are starting to sound a little bit more so, which is why I started de-risking, just in preparation. Welcome back, Double D, bro. You're doing very, very well. Welcome back, Octoplus. Welcome back, fellow bag holders. You know it, or bad holders, indeed. Stablecoins on layer 1, please. Yes, that is the prey. We all want to see that. We'll get to that post in a short moment. The long and short of it right now is it's not going to be on the layer 1. It will be native, but native on Casplex as opposed to bridged on Casplex. At least that's the potential right now, but it won't be on the layer 1. I think we have to wait for VPOX till that happens. USDC coming, apparently. You know what? I'll stop. I'll get more to the question in a moment. Let's get into that source right now. So I'm going to talk about the KRI in a moment, which does correlate to this as well, the ISO 20022 stuff. But before I do, this post here from Johnny. He replied to a comment here in regards to any updates on USDC, on stablecoins and whatnot. And he said, I have to be accurate. Circle on Casplex, not Kaspa layer 1 directly. So there won't be USDC coming on Kaspa layer 1. It'll be on Casplex. Apparently Circle are asking if we want to bridge tomorrow. So kind of Circle's asking Casplex, do you guys want us to bridge on Casplex basically ASAP, or do you want us to wait and we'll put it natively on the Casplex sometime Q1 2026? Which, considering we've not seen USDC on Casplex right now, I'm assuming that the KEF chose the latter and chose native, which, to be fair, native is always better than bridged. So I'm not against that, although, I mean, me personally, I'd much prefer if it was native on Casplex layer 1 as opposed to native on Casplex. But you've got to take your wins at this point. I think stablecoins in general on Kaspa would be a good step, as long as then it doesn't result in this layer 2. It's not just a dig at even Casplex. Even if it was IGRA, I don't want any layer 2 to start significantly taking more of the liquidity, therefore fracturing the sovereignty of the layer 1 of Kaspa. That's the whole issue with Ethereum, right? So ideally you want the stablecoins natively on Kaspa, but we need to wait for VPOX, stuff like that to come out first. But stablecoins in general will be a good step, and that could hopefully evolve and bear fruits to layer 1 stablecoin launching, which would be much, much better. But yeah, Circle won't be on Kaspa layer 1. They'll probably need VPOX, I imagine. So either USDC will bridge to USDC will bridge on Casplex ASAP, which is seem not to be the case, or they'll wait till 2026 Q1, which would be very, very big indeed. So that is quite huge news, all of things considered. And we can even see Johnny has made another sort of update here. I guess building on top of that here, which is, sometimes you just need to answer those not very decentralized questions. So highlighting here, Circle in regards to, I guess, the general form you've got to fill out for getting an application here. Transaction monitoring, of course, there is no answer to that because Casplex and even Kaspa, there is nothing to do with that because it's decentralized. Same thing here. Questions, full legal entity name. Again, Kaspa is centralized, so there's nothing you could really put in that. And the same thing here as well. And even that's a total supply genesis. Again, we didn't do that for Kaspa. It's been fair launch, and same thing here as well. So certain questions, can simply not be answered, which is expected. Now that might again potentially cause hurdles and blockades for Kaspa going forward, but we'll have to wait and see where it goes from then. But either way, it looks like the development between Circle and Kaspa, namely Casplex, is starting to bear more fruits, which is better, which is good. We can only hope it continues accelerating from this point forward as well, especially while the market dynamics are so bad. We want to start seeing some good news coming out to at least let us know that when the markets do recover, we have a foundation to build off as opposed to just hopium and just speculation, right? Now, before I get into the questions again, I want to build on top of what I was talking about earlier. So I mentioned how next week, I believe 22nd, I believe it is, Swift and 91% of all financial institutions will be migrating to the ISO 20022 standard. This is a very, very big deal. The Fed has already shifted to that, and actually we got a post regarding that here. I'll get into a little bit later, but very, very big, and equally can be big for Kaspa because of KRI have a project called Warp Core that is ISO compliant. Kaspa, KRI were recently on the global stage presenting to all of these massive corporations and clients like SGCC, State Grid Corporation of China, PwC, Shell, DHL, Hyundai, Bosch, Eon, Siemens. Again, the list for DRI partners goes on, and they are huge partners. And we can even now see, courtesy of the KRI, we have the link to the presentation they showcased at the DII Desert Energy 15th Leadership Summit. I won't go through the whole thing, of course, because I meant to mainly want to cover about Warp Core here, but you can see they're talking about everything here about Larry Fink's recent kind of, I don't think institute is the right word, but where he spoke, and it was recorded, where he was talking about how every currency, ETF, and asset will soon be digitized and tokenized. Again, knowing that this correction in crypto for me is such a mute point, because if everything's going to be tokenized and on chain, then corrections are just distractions from evidently what is the biggest financial shift ever in history. Everything going to be coming on chain, on blockchain. We're not talking about it enough. Most countries aren't even ready for what's coming. And of course, then you have Kaspa being, in our belief, the most significant and frankly the only project that can actually attain and uphold what is needed for this new financial revolution. Talk about a lot more here in regards to Bitcoin and Kaspa, the block DAG architecture, the 10 BPS, and of course the dilemma solving Kaspa as well, which of course apparently these institutions, these corporations, they ate this up. They loved hearing about this. They wanted to know where to buy Kaspa as well. So some of the projects here they talk about is the main one I want to talk about here, Warp Core, ISO 20022 and other ISO market standard adapters, translate legacy TradFi to blockchain with minimal disruption, MVP operational as a middleman with test transactions ongoing. They've already done some tests with the Swift network, which is huge news. Connect trading, settlement, and audit to Kaspa's public rails of all digital assets to traditional financial institutions. It's got institutional grade settlement rails with KYC and AML, which are optional. KYC being know your customer, AML being anti-money laundering, which are deemed as the key, I think laws is the word I'm going to use. The key laws that a lot of these firms and governments kind of require, for the safety of everybody, for institutions who want to be offering any form of financial services, they had to have a way where you can know your customer and also to prevent anti-money laundering. So you have to have these implemented where KRI with Walk will have those as optional, because of course if it was just straight flat like that, then it would ruin decentralization. So if you're not part of the institution, you haven't got to force yourself to KYC. And also then allows traditional institutions to transact tokenized assets. Warp core is going to be extremely big. That, of course, being the main factor, knowing that ISO standard is going to be shifting in the next 10 or so days, if not earlier. You got KRI of Warp core that's going to be tapping into that market. Therefore, Kaspa is going to be tapping into that market and competing with other further developed or longer established cryptocurrencies, be it your XRPs, your XLMs, your XDCs, whatever it may be, going forward as well. But KRI, we've got a lot of projects spoke about here. We've got a gigawatt as well. They spoke also about ZTEX, the Zero Emission Trading Exchange. And equally, there's another one as well, which was, just to double check, what was it? It was Asset Mint. Yes, I think that was a little bit up earlier up, wasn't it? Yeah, around here, wasn't it? Am I just completely blind? I might just be completely blind. I mean, either way, this document, this PDF, this PowerPoint slide, if you will, is completely available already online, so you can go find it. Equally, it's in my is in my Discord community. Go check it out there as well. But it of course gives some other big factors regarding Kaspa as well, why it succeeds and what is next, which is something again institutions are going to be gobbling up. The edge it has in regard to Dagnut and VPOGs being not too far in the distant future, and in regards to decentralization as well. So this is a great thing to know that again, market's terrible. We accept that market's terrible, but such a significant shift is incoming in finance in the next couple of weeks, which could potentially explain when the market, namely the crypto market, is struggling. Because again, look at the stock market; it is down a little bit, and it's what like 5%, 3% off all-time highs, which is quite a lot for the stock market. But at the same time, it's 3% of all-time highs, and that's in the span of 2 weeks. Whereas Bitcoin in the similar time frame is down significantly more. We're talking 20% or so. Of course, crypto is more volatile because it's smaller as well, but you're seeing such a significant shift happening in the next coming days, which could potentially explain why crypto is acting more volatile, because again, you're seeing all the institutional outflows in preparation for a big financial shift where blockchain is going to become the kind of backbone of all things finance going forward. Everything's going to be tokenized on a blockchain. Stocks, bonds, real estate, commodities, you name it. Everything's going to be on-chain. Debt will also be on-chain. And I think Kaspa, again, is early, but also positioned nicely enough, because soon enough, institutions are going to realize that they haven't got the scalability necessary with these current existing projects to handle what they want to handle. Kaspa right now is the only one that's actually been building for that. Not even intentionally. They're just building the best sound source of money and protocol there is. But it has the best scalability in this space, which is again highlighted here as well. Now, there are some other updates for Kaspa and some Zebec stuff as well we'll get to in a little bit, but I want to quickly get some questions again because I have missed quite a lot. I want cheaper Kaspa. I mean, I wouldn't say no to it. Of course, the FUD is getting to extremely high levels right now, which is not ideal, but I wouldn't say no to it. I wouldn't mind some other cheap Kaspa as well. Not over for my one step up after I chill. Good to hear. I'm glad that a lot of you here are remaining logical and not emotional during times like this. And I think that's perfectly fair, and I think perfectly fine. I understand being emotional, but you can be worried. I think worried is necessarily being emotional, but it's not panicking therefore and just sending your whole bag. It's analyze the situation, and after you analyze the situation, you then decide how you're going to shift your trading strategies in a logical manner that's going to help you benefit from what's happening right now. Hence why I de-risk from stablecoins. But I might very well start DCAing back in if I think that Bitcoin's found stability and we could be going back up again. I still think that the next kind of breakout still is not confirmed till we break 115k Bitcoin, so we've still got a long ways to wait right now. But once that happens, I think the breakout for crypto will be exceptional. Welcome back, LB bro. You're doing very, very well, brother. You won't get taxed on a loss. True. I got 10k waiting for a 0.01 Kaspa. If you get to a 1 cent Kaspa, then I mean, yeah, you're gonna be flying with that. I want to say it's unlikely, but again, who knows right now? We could see another mass crash liquidation event, and then people can get lucky in scooping up 1 cent Kaspa. I know a lot of people did get lucky down here. If we go into a bear cycle, then it's very, very possible. But I don't know if we're going to go into a bear cycle just yet or not. There's still not confirmation to me. What's down, Peace? What's up, Gosu? Hope you're doing very, very well, brother. Tony says, one strategy, stack shillings. Yeah, I think it's very fair. Good strategy. For my 90k Bitcoin, maybe. I mean, 90k Bitcoin is very much on the cards as well. Radio mode working, as always, Gosu. Welcome back, brother. And thank you for being here despite your busy schedule and you're working all the time. I love your conviction, brother. I have 150k to be deployed at 0.015. I mean, yeah, if capital does go down that low, then it's going to be crazy. But chances are, if capital goes down that low, it won't stay down that low forever. So, big bag there goes, Tony. Big bag indeed. Yeah, he'd be exceptionally wealthy if that came through. If that entry price hit, it'd be insane. CS put a new vid talking about Kaspa. Interesting perspective he has. I need to listen to that. I'm going to probably do so after this stream ends. I do like his videos actually because I'm not too well versed with the individual himself, but he is a Web3 developer. You know, to my knowledge, what I've read from him. So is another interesting perspective. And again, this is what he said. I've not, verified his mind, so if how big of a developer he actually is, but that's not me trying to say he's not. But the point being is you're getting the perspective of developers who are building on multiple chains and they come to hear about Kaspa and like, yeah, Kaspa's the best one there is. That does give me some hope in regards to what other people are going to end up seeing in the future going forward as well. So the market is low according to the RSI charts. Next week will be good. I'm waiting for Tuesday and Monday, plus the IC2022 is coming up. Yeah, IC2022 is going to be huge. I have heard apparently the liquidity injection will be coming through soon regarding the Fed or the TGA money start coming in at some point in the next couple of days. We'll have to wait and see, of course. If that is the case, that also could explain why the markets are correcting right now, because it's preparing for a liquidity injection. You see the pricing in on the markets right now by the rumors on the news going down, and then you see the markets go up with the liquidity injection. But again, we'll have to wait and see. I think this weekend's going to be an interesting one. Of course, it's Friday right now. Stock market's going to be closing soon. And then you'll see nothing happen for the next few days, and then you'll see where it recovers or reacts when Monday opens again. What's up, G? Thanks. You're doing very, very well with that. And you too, joining Taco Outdoors. Welcome back, bro. I told you weeks ago, Jay, we're in a bear market. I mean, this is technically not a bear market. I don't think we're in a bear market. Because historically speaking, bear market means Bitcoin down 70+% from all-time highs. We're down 25%. Altcoins are bleeding and they're dead. Yeah, I mean, altcoins have been in a bear market for a long, long time, so I don't disagree with that. If you want to say we're in an altcoin bear market, then I'm like, yeah, sure, we've been in an altcoin bear market since the beginning of this year, effectively. It's been terrible. And Kaspa a little bit longer. But a crypto bear market, no. Because Bitcoin's down 25% from all-time highs. We're at the same or a little bit lower than we were at the beginning of this year. That's not a bear cycle. We have to come down significantly more to be in a bear cycle. Bitcoin's got to come down. If history serves, Bitcoin's got to come down to at least, 40k, give or take, for us to be in a bear cycle. We're not there. So we're not there yet. We could be leading into one, but again, we have to wait and see. I'm not convinced just yet, because I still think I'm still playing off that 30% rule right now. If we come back 30% around here and lose that, then I'm like, yeah, okay, confirmed definitely for me then, or highly likely. If we hold here and then start reversing, I'm like, okay, could be that's a correction phase, and we're going to go back up from here. Although saying that, I can almost guarantee you'll see a lot of people think similar things to me and start setting up long leverage trades, and then just smart money are like, you can't keep doing this, guys, just liquidate them again, because people keep saying, oh, leverage trades just keep getting liquidated. Kaspa could cure cancer, but it's going down with everything else. On the plus side, save your cash for 0.001. So you think Kaspa going to go to 0.1 cents, even lower. I mean, Kaspa's not been down to that price in ages. That's down here. You're talking down here. I don't know if Kaspa comes down that far. I mean, again, what do I know? I'm not a financial advisor, but that would be insane if Kaspa came down this far. And I don't think we're in a bear cycle just yet. Again, a lot of my documentation still suggests that pullbacks are entirely possible, and we're seeing that right now. But you're seeing what institutions are talking about in live time. This is documents again that I provide to my VIPs in live time, what they're talking about in regards to this space, the significant shift we're seeing right now and how they approach digital assets. Nearly 60% of institutions plan to increase their allocation in the coming year. If they're going to do that, then we're not going to be going into a bear cycle necessarily. They're probably dumping the markets so they can actually get in at a lower entry, and then so the market's up. And average exposure is expected to double within 3 years. So I'm still not convinced just yet. I'm not convinced just yet. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't think I am, but maybe I am. Again, who knows? Maybe it's their signal to insiders and institutions. After 2022, you said it all for me. Make the market crash and buy low. I mean, yeah, we know it. It's a tale of all the time. Smart money don't want anybody to win. Why do they? They control the world. They have all the money. They don't want us to win. They're now here. They're not going to make it easy for us. It's speculative talk, so I don't want to, just drive it as like, oh yeah, 100% institutional dumping. No, it's not 100%. It's speculation. But you've seen it time and time again. Again, the coincidence of this post here from State Street, one of the biggest Wall Street institutions, a day before the biggest crypto liquidation in history, is insane. And it's been a complete bloodbath pretty much since then. It has been a bloodbath since then. So now we know that smart money are going to significantly increase their allocation into crypto over the coming year, and double, not triple their allocation in the coming 3 years. In the last month, they've been doing that. So I'm not surprised about this correction at all. How low it goes, we'll have to wait and see. I still think the data that's going to be coming out, the macro data, will be very, very important to determine the stability of this market. If it comes back bad, then yeah, bear market, very possible. If it comes back good, then we'll have to wait and see. Welcome, sweet Ant. How are you doing? Very, very well. Hey, did you change your Kaspa status since the sales have been on? I'm assuming you mean status in like, am I bullish on Kaspa? If you mean that by status, and in that regard, then no, I'm still bullish on Kaspa. I still think Kaspa's the strongest asset in this space, fundamentally wise, and the price is one of the worst. But at the same time, now I don't even have to talk about the price, technically speaking, because every single altcoin effectively in this market is equally down 70+% from their all-time highs. If not, actually no, they're down 75% from their local highs, but most from their all-time highs are still down 90%. So Kaspa actually is in the exact same boat as every other altcoin. So if regarding my status in regards to am I still bullish on Kaspa, then yes, 100%, even more so now. Because it means that the markets, everything's down. Everything was pumping Kaspa's down. I might say something else. But right now, everything is crap. Everything is doing terribly, which means that Kaspa has more time to release their VPOCs, their Dagonite, get their stablecoins on board, to stop getting Igor Labs coming out. All the big developments coming through can now have the time to come through when the markets are terrible, which sets the foundation up better when Kaspa does have that recovery when the markets does recover. If you're buying Kaspa here, you're retarded. Simple as that. I mean, everyone has their own investment strategies. I put a little bit in extra right now, but I have de-risked a lot of my bags into altcoins, not altcoins, into stablecoins right now. I did a massive de-risk. I didn't sell any of my Kaspa because Kaspa, for me, that's still going to be a long-term hold. I did DCA a little bit into Kaspa, but now I'm not going to put anything else in until we either go much lower or until I see a confirmed signal that we're going to start going back up again. But everyone's strategies are different. Some people have utmost faith in Kaspa, and he's going to continue, it's the best time to get in now before it does have that reversal. Again, you have to wait and see. Sometimes I like to call a coincidence a happy little purpose. I like that. Buying all the way down to 0.02, 2 cents Kaspa. Yeah, who knows? Maybe. Tony has the Bo Boss vibes going on. Fair enough. Calling fellow Kaspa's fans who are buying that word isn't very respectful. I mean, true, yeah. I'm trying to save people. Because I'm buying too, and I've got limit orders all the way down with bigger buyers that goes down. I mean, yeah. Again, I'm not talking too much on it because everybody has their own investing and trading strategies, right? Some people think it's worthwhile having limit orders all the way down, buying Kaspa more and more and more. Some also believe that it's not the wise thing to do. There is no one set strategy that is the best strategy. If it was, then everybody would eventually find out that one strategy. They'd all be billionaires. Now, there's so many different ways you can make capital. If there was only one way, you wouldn't be seeing multiple different YouTube channels or even VIP groups that are all, kind of sending similar things, except they all have different ways of how they do it. Some are more successful than others, though. Buying Kappa right now could be a very, very unwise thing to do, but also it could end up being good. If Bitcoin found its bottom right now and made that sharp recovery, then that will completely invalidate the statement about it. The point is, nobody knows if we're in a bear market just yet, and if Bitcoin's going to continue going down or not. It's possible. I think it's possible. But how much further down we go is not confirmed just yet. I've been thinking this for over a year. They're waiting for the signal. The switch is ready to go. Yeah, I think the switch is I think the switch is about to be flipped right now, honestly. Run a trend line from bear market lows to all-time high. Right. We're talking about here, I'm guessing. Okay, so what's that meant to prove? A5K is the line. I don't understand how this makes A5K the line. Bear market lows to all-time highs. I still don't get how that makes A5K the line in that. I mean, I can analyze so again, my and either way, A5K is still A5K is still similar to what I was saying in regards to a typical correction in Bitcoin. It's 30%. 30% puts you at around 85, 88K. So it's similar price target I was talking about anyways. I don't know what the trend line does in that, but 85 to 88K is like that 30% pullback, which is typically how far Bitcoin pulls back when it goes through a correction phase. 30% was here as well as here as well. The bottom was 16K in 2022. That's when the bull run began. I mean, in that case, then yeah, we've seen it. If you want to take it from then yes, it's been a significant bull run. Or this is like correction. The bear market is not a 1 year bear market and then 3 year bull run type of thing. That's not typically how it goes. It's more so you have a correction phase, typically a 1 year correction phase in the bear market, and then you kind of just see the next year being building. The actual bull market is normally signaled to confirmed, kind of going into the latter half of I guess the second year. At least that's how I've been perceiving it. That's how I normally look at it when I look at the crypto markets. I don't think 1 year bear cycle, 3 years bull cycle. I kind of think 1.5, 2 years bear cycle, and then on a 1 year bear cycle or 1 year correction phase, then you have like a year of building, then you start going into that price volatility phase. Although, again, times are changing, so who knows? Every time I tune in the office is looking better and better. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you very much. Yeah, doing some upgrades here and there. I do plan to replace this camera at some point because despite the fact that I do like the camera, I think it's a bit too fish length, a bit too wide, and you can't see too much of me as well. It's too much about. Plan to change that. Plan to get rug on the floor, some stuff on the walls at some point, but that's not a priority for me right now. Right now it's just focusing on the markets and other things in life. Zcash is slow. People are just following the herd, about to get rejected here and head back to 330. I mean, yeah, I'm not too averse to Zcash, but I know it's kind of a dinosaur project, and I know people don't typically. And right now, it's on euphoria run right now, but I don't think the tech, from what I've heard, the tech is not enough to keep it going indefinitely, so it will come back. This is not doing anything, it's hype. It will be back to earth soon. Putting in bearish divergences right now. We're like a double top, short there. 94k is the 0.382. Could bounce off here for Bitcoin. I mean, yeah, that's what I was saying. Again, like I'm not even using Fibonacci. I'm not even using the Fibonacci retracement right now. It's something that I can kind of just look at the markets right now, and I can perceive where you've seen going down the levels of support and resistance. You can see there've been these zones right here and right here. So this right here is a potential support zone for Bitcoin that it could rebound off. Equally, it can blow past here. If it does go past here, then you've got this whole zone down here. And then after that, it'd be like down here, 74k. 74k to 77k. That'd be the next like critical zone. But if it loses 83k, you're then going past the 30% correction from all-time high, and then it starts becoming more of a question of, is it still on? Is the bull market still on, or are we now officially in a bear cycle? Zcash has good numbers in terms of supply. They are like a small supply and high fully diluted value. I mean, yeah, I'm still not. I think Zcash has done fantastic in regards to its price right now, but Zcash is one that if you got in really early or holding down here, you're laughing, you're loving it. If it got great longevity going forward, I don't think so. I don't think so. I've not got that much faith in Zcash. I don't personally. Welcome back, Loud Bro. You're doing very, very well, brother. I'm not sure how missions work though. I'm pretty sure they have a faster block time than Bitcoin. Hark about 21 million. Bitcoin plus privacy is a claim. Yeah, I know. Zcash is meant to be the privacy token right now, which actually there was a post I saw from Son Polinsky. I think got it here as well. Yeah, where Son Polinsky, you know, Zuko, who is the I think that's the founder of Zcash, right? I believe so. But either way, he just replied here saying, by the way, I've always loved your proof of work block DAG architecture designs and ideas. And, you know, I was kind of trying to keep a little awareness of current Kaspa development, mostly just by reading Twitter. But of course, I'm too focused on Crosslink and the fee market for Zcash to keep up. But yeah, I mean, the conversation here between Zcash and Son Polinsky here. I like, thank you, Zuko. I feel Kaspa devs should stay true to the North Star of being the most impatient Bitcoin out there, upgrade to 10 to 100 BPS and ship Dagnite. But people keep bugging me to convert into Zaspa, which is just people just keep trying to bug Son Polinsky to say make a privacy Kaspa token. No, he doesn't want to do that, and I don't think we need to. Privacy will come to Kaspa in due time, but I don't think it's the most pressing issue right now. It would be for institutional adoption because they want privacy, but right now you want to have a more foundation built on architecture before you get that coming through, I think. There is zero chance privacy coins get mass adoption. They're making, yeah, I know a lot of governments and governmental bodies are trying to ban privacy tokens because they can't control them, pretty much. So it is a cause for concern, definitely. But they're doing very well right now. If you look at what's trending, what's doing well in the last 7 days or so, you can see a lot of them are like these sort of privacy tokens, although I don't see Zcash right here right now, which is crazy because actually the only one that's pumping today. Oh, 24 hours, sorry. There you go. Zcash, Dash, dinosaur tokens, as well as privacy tokens are all doing quite well. Capital for the win, long and strong, I hope so, and I believe so, true forever, I do. So here we go again, grateful for another day on earth, rich is a state of mind. I mean, I am grateful. I actually am. Despite the markets being terrible, and of course, emotions always running high as a result of it, I am grateful, again, to have another day on this earth, and I'm also grateful that I can continue to DCA. Again, I'm not doing so right now in the markets, but I continue to DCA and continue to build my future, my wealth going forward. Everyone here will basically become a humpback at this rate. I mean, if people keep DCAing, they would, but again, that's up to you if you want to. Alba one will be mid 2026, maybe Oka, maybe it will be. That would be I wouldn't be opposed to that at all. Buy set all the way down. Love to hear that, G. Thanks. If that's what you do, if that's what you want to do, PG, then go for it. Again, I'm not saying it's a bad strategy at all, but everyone's got their own strategies. Either you want to wait till it goes down a lot more, or people put on the way down. I mean, either way, like it's what people are more comfortable with. It's their risk to reward the ROI. Kaspa's suggested a lot of activity recently. I've not actually looked. What is it looking at right now? Seeing quite a few outflows here. Yeah, some big inflows as well for the most part. 7.7 into a KuCoin wallet, 5, almost 6 mil Kaspa into wallet 67, 4 million into 14, and so on. So yeah, we are seeing some decent movements right now. But yeah, I mean, again, you're seeing a lot of the kind of the smart money, if you will, kind of stacking still. You're not seeing a mass sell-off from institutions, which is unsurprising. No point of being one more Kaspa deep if it's got no adoption. See it with enough, but no reason to overdo it. Lots of things fighting against Kaspa outside of tech. We have literally 1% new wallets in the last 2.5 months. Are you really expecting more people to come in when the price has been terrible, though? Realistically speaking, I get the point you're making, PG, but you can't expect people to jump into a project, especially one that is as nuanced and new as Kaspa. Despite innovative, as nuanced and new as Kaspa, in the last 2.5 months, when the price has been terrible in all of crypto, particularly Kaspa, the last 2.5 months, you're looking at with November, so that's August, September, October, November. You're looking at September time. You're looking at here. Kaspa's done this in the last 2 months. Who's going to actually jump in this time? And it's not just Kaspa, everything's been bad in this time. You can't expect people to jump in. People right now are only jumping into Bitcoin, really. Or the ones that are pumping right now at Zcash because they're following the candle, but no one's pumping into anything right now. So you can't expect anyone to jump into the project right now. They'll jump in because most of retail, they just follow price target. They follow price pumps. They follow green candles. So you only will see people jump into Kaspa significantly when the price is starting to rally. That's the unfortunate truth of it. It's up for us to finding the time to get in low, so we don't end up getting caught out by those who just try and follow the candles, basically. True, very, very true, but we can't do all the hypothetical, we've got to do all the here and now. Also very true. People would rather hold Bitcoin and use Lightning. I wouldn't say that so much. People would rather hold Bitcoin because Bitcoin is where all institutions are going towards, but I wouldn't say that is the actual truth of the matter, because it's been widely accepted that Bitcoin and Lightning is not sufficient enough for real adoption. This is Kaspa's fad fade. We had a run on 20 cents, like Bitcoin's fad up to $100. Now roller coaster to the moon or death. The people will decide. I don't think it's as black and white as that. I think right now everything is just terrible, but I think everything will also come back again. Based on what Marathon spoke about recently here. Marathon was very concerned about Bitcoin mining, about how it's not going to be sustainable because there's no transactions going into it and the price is still really, really low. So in that regard, then what are they going to go towards? They need something that's going to have the longevity necessary. Kaspa has higher emissions, so the price going up, it would have to go up a lot more drastically, or again, do what Bitcoin is meant to do and have transactions. Marathon is still mining Kaspa, they're actually adding to their balance sheet right now. So I don't think it's black and white as Kaspa's moon or bust. I think Kaspa is fundamentally the strongest project in the space. It's got the demand for it is not there yet, but it's going to quickly start shifting as Bitcoin becomes less and less profitable. Unless you're expecting Bitcoin to reach 500k by 2028 and 1 mil by 2030, which I don't know if you can see a 1 mil Bitcoin in 5 years or 4 years from now. It's a bit much. Welcome back, Stack Bro. You're doing very, very well, brother. And what's going on, my man? What action figure is that? Not Goku, no, it's Killua from Hunter x Hunter. It's Killua. I've got more other ones on the shelf back there. But this one I actually won when I was in Japan in one of those rubbish claw games, but I got lucky, so I was like, yeah, okay, he's staying with me. Welcome up, Mr. Miles, bro. You're doing very, very well. And yeah, jokes are always back. Love to hear it, brother. Every time I tune in, you're looking better and better. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. I've got some more Kaspa during the stream. Hopium indeed. Fair play, Stack. Love to see it, brother. Which saying, and is that to your side? And what's the artwork? Okay. Right. Well, that is Killua. And that is a personalized drawing that my artist friend made me. It's me combined with Shadow the Hedgehog. because I have a running ongoing joke with my mates about Sega Sonic games and Shadow the Hedgehog. So he made that for me, which is sick. He's a very talented artist. That's a fake window. He's broadcasted from the catacombs. Sure, mate. Okay, I'm not gonna touch that window either. Repog should allow people to create a privacy network using Kaspa. Kaspa itself doesn't need it, and I'll put in a regulatory concept. I mean, you might see that be a feature. I think VPODs provide more opportunities. It's up to people what they do with it, basically. But that being said, family, just to get into some last few posts here. Actually, I'll say that for another stream right now. And that for another stream as well right now. It's just this post here, which kind of does relate a little bit to Zebec. Mr. Miles, don't try it. Don't try it. I can't be asked to get up right now. That's why. I can't be asked. You'll one day see that when it's summertime, that window will be open. It's also too cold right now. It's freezing. Just a post here about the Fed. They extend a warm welcome to 92 financial institutions that went live on the Fed now service in Q3. Also a sign of ICE 2002 demigration happening right now. Panic Zebec could end up being one of them. But again, I'll talk about that later date, probably in a video. Just don't be emotional, family. Be logical. It's been a very, very tough year. And we're not out of the woods just yet. I'll make a video tomorrow, either talking on Kaspa, Zebec, or probably just a market update video in general, laying down my thoughts on what's happening. We could see more tough times ahead. Uncertainty is very, very high. I don't think we're out of a bull run just yet. I think we still have more to look out for. Sorry, Cryptony, my channel. No, jokes aside, I mean, I think Zebec's an asset that can do well. That's why I talk about it. You know, Kaspa's still my big conviction, but I still talk a bit about Zebec. But yeah, that being said, family, that does conclude today's Kaspa Crypto live stream. If you enjoyed, as always, leave a like, share with your friends, subscribe for more. To learn more, tune into the Discord community, the free Discord community, equally VIP, a lot more in-depth information in there as well. We got our executive roundtable on Sunday. That's going to be very insightful, giving a deeper rundown on what's going to be happening over the course of this month, basically, and some institutional insights as well. Find out more in there. 7-day free trials, also a 1-month free trial through BYDFI, our affiliate exchange. All information provided in our free Discord server down below. Check in and get the discounts and free access while you can. It could be very insightful to get the use of that while the markets aren't in such a dire state, so you can end up making the most of it, basically. Okay, fair enough, fellas. Well, that being said, family, have a great day, good evening, and good night. Take care of yourself. Touch some grass, maybe. And I'll see you all